Good afternoon, viewers. I'm Clement Naik, and welcome to Vasundhara Information. So today we have Professor R. Harishankar from Sri Sri University, who has come to the Central University of Odisha for the international conference. So it's an honor having you here, sir.
Thank you.
So this is the first time you have come to Koraput and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Central University of Odisha.
Yeah.
How has been your experience?
It's been really great. I mean, Koraput was one place that all of my friends, ever since I came to Odisha, have been talking about. So it's been something that I've been looking forward to long. And the conference was a godsend. So much so that I had reason to come to Koraput. Otherwise, managing academics and then finding time to travel for the simple pleasure of traveling was becoming a difficult thing at this point in time. So the fact that I could be here on the pretext of a conference, I mean, just paved the way for me to be here. And it's a beautiful place. I mean, I've seen very little of Koraput as of now. I mean, just whatever I could see while I was on the way to the campus, the Central University of Odisha. But I'm hoping that maybe in the evening today or day after tomorrow, I might be able to go around and see a couple of places of interest in Koraput. Yeah.
So I came to know that your specialization is on architecture and temple construction.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you that nowadays we don't see as more great endeavors for temples and monuments, maybe funded by the government or the private endeavors as well. What do you have to say about that?
Right. My PhD work, but primarily focuses on trying to look at temples and temple construction through the lens of visual culture and visual studies. So I'm more into looking at the arts and aesthetic aspects of temple construction, particularly from the 11th to the 17th century in Kerala. I was focusing on 2 districts in Kerala, and I was documenting temples from those particular districts alone. With respect to the question that you have asked, I have a feeling that the present government is on a temple construction spree. I mean, in order to foreground our culture and the fact that we form part of the long Arsha Bharat Sanskriti, I think the present government is more into ensuring that there's more money pumped into temple constructions per se. So as much as we would feel that temples are the things of the past, it no longer feels that way. On a regular basis, we are being told and we are being reminded of the fact that we all belong to a certain faction of or a certain culture that foregrounds temple constructions. So in that respect, I think it's a golden age for temple constructions in India, with the present government going out of its way to ensure that temples are going to stay. I do not know I do not know, however, whether the government is interested in ensuring that the olden temples, for that matter, temples of history, I mean, temples that largely fall under the Archaeological Society of India, has to be preserved, and whether there have been money pumped into to ensure that preservation of such temples dating back to prior to the 15th or the 16th century is happening. But other than that, on the contrary, we find that contemporaneous temples are coming up a lot, is what I feel. Yeah.
And so lastly, this is the first time the Central University of Odisha has organized such a seminar on such a grand scale, and people from all across the globe have conferred here to be speaking on the 11 topics. So I'd like to ask you, how was your experience being here, and what do you see, how do you see Central University developing in the next few years after this?
Right. So conferences, especially literary conferences, are a sparring ground. It is where scholars have the ability or the scope to sort of put forth their thoughts. I mean, whatever is running through your mind, you'll be able to sort of delineate that in the form of a paper and then put it in front of a public that is bound to be criticized. And so these are places where we spar our intellectual thought. In that fashion, any conference is a boon to a young scholar. And I'm more than happy and glad to see that the conference here has been organized in such a beautiful manner. I mean, it's so seamlessly done. And as far as I can see, the Central University of Odisha is a very nascent Central University. It's only taking its baby steps. So huge conferences like these are going to be written in golden letters in the history of Central University of Odisha, and it will also in a manner bring in more footfall to the campus. I mean, I will go back, I will speak about this conference, and people will then begin to feel that Koraput, Central University of Odisha, is not located in such a remote area. The fact that I'll be able to speak about this university and the conference here would make other people also want to come here. I think it will give a sense of affability, where you feel that it is possible to go there and to have an intellectual discussion as much as you would expect in any of the metro cities in India. Yeah. So I think it's a great endeavor and a huge milestone for the Central University of Odisha and for the Department of English and Language and Literature. Yeah.
It was great talking to you, sir. Thank you.
I'm R. Harikrishnan and not Harishankar.
Sorry for that. Pardon me for that.
That's okay. Just clarifying.